It's time for ACC Central, presented by Just Means Less.
I drive into right. It's enough. It's back. And it's gone for the cycle. It's a walk-off grand slam. Florida State wins it.
Hosted by Monty Taylor.
In the air, center field. Moore is under it. And on to Omaha for the Cardinals.
Micah Butel.
Fly ball driven into left field. Smith, does he do it? He does! A walk-off homer by Ken Smith.
And Nick Dioli.
Gets it down. Here comes Mac. He is safe. And Boston College wins.
Fastball off the plate for 2 balls, 2 strikes. Monty just got landed on.
There are 2 pigeons roosting right above me, and my can of Pepsi
Smacked into right field. And a
Welcome back, college baseball fans, ACC fans, to another episode of ACC Central. I'm Monty Taylor. Joining me is Micah Butel, back from enemy land. The SEC Micah weekend is concluded, at least the first one. Nick is going to be joining us at any moment. That scrub is running late. I guess his priorities, about God knows what's out of order. But Micah, how are we doing? How was your weekend seeing your ex favorite coach?
The worst part, Monty, do you know what Mississippi State came out to run onto the field?
Rocky Top. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know anything about the SEC. They came out to enter Sandman. That is the worst.
I unfortunately was not prepared to film because I don't normally film teams running onto the field.
Yeah,
I was, let's just say, devastated. Now, the way they were reacting, that could have been a pitcher's decision. That could have been a Duke Stone thing. I'm not sure, but it wasn't like his walkout song, like his actual, warm up song. But yeah, that was a little devastating. I'm not gonna lie to you.
And they're also, Mississippi State is also maroon.
Yeah, there's a lot of triggering things, but no, it was cool. It was a really fun weekend.
And you did not see Valinkas on you were somewhere else on Saturday, right? Because Valinkas threw 14 strikeouts.
Yeah, I did not see him pitch on Saturday. I was there Sunday, so missed him I got a chance to talk to him, but I didn't get a chance to watch him pitch. But yeah, no, it was a fun weekend of nice ballparks, fun baseball. Yeah, so I can't complain. How was your weekend, Monty? You were watching. I was seeing the X. You were watching our future.
Yeah, UVA is continuing to take care of business and winning series. Kyle Johnson pitched on Friday night, and he only threw 10 pitches. I think they wanted to throw 20, but the inning was so long after he threw his 10 that he didn't get a chance to come out for a second because they were like, well, we've accomplished what we wanted to accomplish. But he was electric. It was Kyle Johnson's world this weekend because then he went off on Saturday and Sunday in the batter's box. So it was good to see that. Obviously, had a couple minor things go. Sam Harris missed Saturday's game because of, he had back spasms, but then he was back on Sunday, and that was huge because then casually has 4 RBIs. The game plans Eric Tyler is putting together, because even though UVA didn't quite score a ton of runs on Saturday, they were just driving up Lavonis's pitch count. And Lavonis didn't look quite as crisp as he normally does. Now, that being said, Virginia wasn't quite able to get a bunch of runs across, but they were able to get Lavonis out of there early. The problem was Stammel fell apart a little bit in the third inning, and it was too hard to come back from that kind of a deficit. But I just keep being blown away by the game plan and the execution of the Virginia offense against some of these really strong pitching staffs.
Love it, Monty. That's music to my ears.
Did you see the Eric Becker play, by the way, the other day?
I did. That's some good stuff. Seeing him make those types of plays just make me feel some type of way. Just like seeing Nick for the first time in weeks makes me feel some type of way.
Yeah, I mean, Nick, we got to work on those priorities. You know, this is going to drive me nuts.
Still hasn't missed a show, so I know where my priorities lie.
I mean, technically, you have missed a show because we've all missed shows. So,
no, not true. I did a solo.
Yeah, but last week we only did one show, so we all missed one show last week.
And we mainly
you would
available.
Yeah.
Fair.
Classic.
Okay.
All right.
Talking about our weekends, but you didn't go to any games, so we don't really need to hear about your weekend. So
yeah. You don't want to know, so it's okay.
Oh yeah, and I thought my Wake Forest curse might be over, and then UVA came out and scored 14 runs the next day. So for those keeping track at home, I've been to 7 Wake Forest games since Nick Kurtz and Chase Burns were on the team, and since those days, they've given up 73 runs with me in attendance. And
I'm not going to say anything, but I don't think that's just a you problem.
No, but well, you say that, but I turned to the SID when Will Ray's warming up, and I went, man, this is my favorite pitcher. I'm like, so excited to see him pitch, and then he pulls his hamstring, and Grant turns to me and goes, "F you, Monty," and I was like, that's fair. So. Yeah, unlucky for Will. Hopefully, it's a very quick recovery there. Again, thankful that I know he's been dealing with a hamstring injury before, but thankful it's nothing to do with his arm. But yeah, that was just great. That was the way things were kind of going. But yeah, on Friday night when I told Grant I wasn't cursed, and then KJ comes out, throws 10 pitches, 7 for strikes, up to 97. Absolutely blows the 3 batters away, and then the first pitch of the UVA offense is driven 400 feet at 108 miles an hour. I was having trouble defending myself. Then UVA went on to score, I think, 5 runs that inning. But let's get into it. We got a bunch of games. Let's briefly talk about Stanford and Miami, who were basically off for non-conference because of Stanford's trimesters. They had finals this week. Apparently last year they did not take a weekend off for their finals, and that was the Cal weekend. So I guess that made made them kind of want the schedule to be a little different this year. So they were off facing Utah Valley. They ended up having Friday off, played Saturday, 2 on Sunday, 1 on Monday. They have swept. A lot of offense for them. Pitching still a little bit concerning, but how are we feeling about Stanford? I know Nick actually decided to bump them up ahead of Cal, even though. So my thing is, I'm not letting Cal non-conference affect their power rankings because I'm leaving them at 16, despite Cal starting 0-6 in ACC play. But Nick, how are we feeling? You're putting Stanford at 15 now, huh?
I mean, I wouldn't read too much into that. I just think the 0-6 just kind of stands out to me at the moment. Stanford does have at least 1 win against a Pitt team I think we're all pretty high on and feel pretty good about. So I wouldn't read a whole lot into like 15 and 16. I just made one little flip.
Yeah. Michael, what about you?
My power rankings do not. It's funny. I almost to the group. I was going to respond to Nick directly on social media, but I've decided to since I've not been a very loyal ACC guy as of late. I decided to I didn't think it was right to call Nick out, who's probably been more loyal than me, and by probably he has been. But yeah, I don't see how Cal fell behind Stanford. Like, I obviously understand Stanford has a conference win, Cal does not, but to also act like, the way Stanford looked against Wake when they played wasn't very good. And obviously, they got the win against Pitt, but Pitt is the type of team that, has a game almost every weekend where their bats are just not able to slug them to a victory. They're not bad by any means, but if you look at the game they lost to Stanford, right? They scored 7 instead of 10. And when they're, winning these games, they're scoring, again, when they played Stanford and won Pitt, they won 11-10, and 10-5. So like the double-digit number really is that number for Pitt. And obviously the one game they lost, they only scored 7. So like I'm not saying that shouldn't count. Like that's a very valid reason, Nick. This wouldn't have been the weekend for me to bump them because like having seen Utah Valley in person, like they're not a bad ball club. They can also hit the living crap.
Yeah, those scores are high. Yeah,
deep arm. Like they're not very not talented, but they don't have
deep.
Yeah, they're not deep on the mound. So for me, I was like, okay, yeah, like they took 4 against Utah Valley, and honestly, like the one game where Utah Valley threw its best, it almost had them. So it's kind of one of those. Again, we're arguing right now who's 15 and 16. Good thing they played.
We're kind of like just splitting hairs, Yeah,
but overall, I mean, I wouldn't have dropped them. I actually don't. It's funny enough. I don't have Cal in my bottom 2 in my power rankings. I always release mine on Wednesdays after the midweeks are done, just to kind of give us an extra data point. But
and that's where mine is too, because of the
Cal is 14 for me. I had Miami also behind Cal, just because again, similar thing. They were behind them after the ACC stuff, and I didn't put any weight into beating Creighton this weekend. So
yeah, the Miami offense really messed with me on the team of the week because their offense went off, and I'm like, I'm not like. It was a light week at third base, so I was able to get Cuvée in there, but I was like, I'm not gonna like throw a bunch of the Miami offensive numbers in there necessarily. Like Alex Sosa went off at catcher, but I was like, Matthew Strand single-handedly won an ACC game by himself on Saturday. So like, I'm gonna put that in there. But yeah, it's just interesting. Miami seems like a perfect kind of opportunity to reset for them. Obviously 2-4 out of the gate against BC and Duke is not what they envisioned, so they really needed that. But I'm not buying them until they can prove it in ACC play. So all right, I do want to do a victory lap because I went 7-0 last week.
You had a heck of a week, Monty. I mean, I will say, Monty, I am really upset that I did not buy in on Notre Dame. Obviously that's on me. I have to wear that. That's me sticking my neck out for a team that I said was going to Omaha. So, Clemson, if you're trying to make this messy, this breakup's about to get real messy, my friends, because this is just doggy. But
I will say you were in on Notre Dame in the preseason when I convinced you to be.
Yeah, and again, it wasn't that I was like. Monty,
yeah.
You know what swayed me? I submitted my picks after I listened to the show. Obviously, I wasn't on it, but it was a part of my drive to Baton Rouge, and I submitted my picks to you. And I'll never forget, like, I was gonna text you Notre Dame, and then I listened to you, Montgomery Taylor, say, "Well, Notre Dame's much better at home normally in like April," and I'm like, you know what? He's damn right. This is March Notre Dame. So you know what? They're not going to have the luck of the Irish this weekend. Well, they honestly didn't need luck. They were just the better team.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure they were their first home series was that Georgia Tech one last year, and they got absolutely rocked by Kyle Odis and Georgia Tech at home. So yeah. So, but yeah, no, I mean, I didn't. I mean, absolutely from start to finish. I know there was some controversy. It wasn't streamed for Saturday and Sunday's games, and there was some controversy on the final play of Saturday's game, but I didn't see it. Supposedly I think they're claiming runners interference on the fielder's choice because they had a chance.
Can we talk about that real quick, Monty? It's been a minute since I've had a good rant.
Yes,
if you're a Power 4 college baseball team, how in the hell are you not streaming your conference games? I understand maybe an occasional non-con. Like I understand. I really do. I work in this industry. Like I know how hard it is to get students to run this kind of stuff. I know how yes, there's a lot of money involved, but it is hard still to get people to do, especially like a school like Notre Dame who probably has money going on and other things going on too. Like they have a ton of Olympic sports there at Notre Dame. But it is entering the season, this was a top 25, top 15 Clemson team, and you were only able to schedule a Friday to broadcast. Like, Monty, I was furious. I went to go tune in on Saturday, and I thought I was tripping. I'm like, okay, ESPN Plus isn't wanting to show me the broadcast right now, or maybe they're having some broadcast technical difficulties. No, like they didn't even and again, obviously it's not a shot at Notre Dame's team, right? But we broadcast every single game at Lamar. Like, we have nowhere near the amount of resources as Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep. And Notre Dame's good. They're good now.
Because you're getting punished for punishing your baseball team. Oh man, I was floored. Like, if I'm a, and this is not trying to like bad recruit Notre Dame, but like in the modern world, man, that is like a recruiting tool to be able to tell, like, getting kids to come to South Bend, Indiana are already hard enough. Like, it's going to be cold. You're going to spend the first month of the season. And now you got to tell kids, hey, your parents aren't going to be able to watch every single one of your games unless you come to them because we can't even stream all your home games. Like, honestly, kudos to you, Notre Dame staff, for grabbing talented kids and convincing them to, like, tell their parents that. Because, like, in the modern world, that's just going to not be a thing. I can watch high school games I can watch almost every high school game in the state of Texas. How can we not get a Division I broadcast? Like, I understand, like, they don't want to have the overhead camera. Like, no disrespect to the Cal and Stanford broadcast, but we've had our conversations about those in the past. Like, unless it's really just an overhead camera and that's about it. But like, that is still better than nothing. Like, it's just, oh man, it's mind-boggling stuff.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, and you didn't even mention there's no clips for you to share on social media. Like, I mean, Jace Lee hits a game-tying home run in the 8th inning, and I'm like, oh man, I can't wait to tweet that. And then I realize, oh wait, I'm the reason I'm following this game is on Stats Broadcast. There's no video of this, so it's brutal. And I did hear ahead of time that they were going to have like they were going to stream way less games at Notre Dame, but I was not expecting it to be like conference games.
Like, if you want to skip, like, Virginia Tech had an issue this year where they didn't stream a lot. Like, I think they're like first 6 home games, 7 home games, whatever.
all the games in February, basically.
Yeah, but like, okay, fine. Like, I mean, yeah, I'm bummed I didn't get to watch East Tennessee State play Virginia Tech this year. I'm bummed that we didn't get to see some of the the like early stuff that we wanted to get on the Hokies. But like, fine. Like, at least that's somewhat like respectful. Like, this is the ACC. Like, I don't even think in the Southland Conference you're allowed to not stream a baseball game. And I think it's a part of the contract is you have to stream all your home baseball games in the Southland Conference. So how is that not the same thing for the ACC? Like,
that's a good question because I feel like there was some sort of like thing when Cal and Stanford joined that they had to improve their broadcast in a certain amount of time. So like, you think, I mean, it's very interesting, and it drives me nuts because again, Notre Dame's good now, but also if you want to be taken seriously by the likes of big programs like Clemson and Florida State and those kind of programs, you need to be able for those fans to be able to tune in and watch their team on the road.
And that's what's so annoying is if like you and I went to the game, Monty, and set up a live stream, ESPN could sue us.
Yeah.
Like, what? Like, we're just trying to give people a chance to see the game. I mean, it's, again, like, this is not a Notre Dame baseball staff problem, right? This is a higher than that problem.
Yeah, because they want to be streamed. Like,
I mean, again, like, that's just, like, again, this has got to be so, like you said, like, Notre Dame just had arguably its best ACC weekend in March. Is that at least in the recent years since Link Jarrett had left? Like, that was the best series they've put together in March.
This might be
very little video of what happened besides whatever they probably got from their film cameras.
Forget March. This might be their best home weekend in the Sean Stifler era.
Yeah, that's a very valid point.
They swept a top 25 opponent. I mean, they've won series there. Obviously, we've seen them beat Wake Forest. We've seen them beat Louisville. We've seen them beat Miami there. But we have not seen them dominate a top 20 team at the time by D1, I believe. But in 3 straight games. And there's, like you said, at least we got a complete game shutout that we got on video. Because imagine, I mean, if they hadn't streamed the Friday game, we're missing a 117 game complete game shutout by Jack Riddell, who is one of the contenders for ACC Pitcher of the Year.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. I actually punished Jack with my ACC Player of the Week voting, knowing that he was still going to win, even if my vote didn't necessarily matter. But I voted Wyatt just because I was like, you know what? I mean, I did forget that was the game you could actually watch.
You punished. I thought I was going to get mad at you if you were like, he was already Pitcher of the Week, and I was going to be like, so was Wyatt.
So was Wyatt, but like,
so.
But I was like debating it too, and I was like, yeah, I mean, and Wyatt's and that came against a more surprising opponent, where Like I almost punished Jack Riddell for being so good. It's like, we expected this from you, man. Like
we expected
game. Like that's normal for you. Like you wake up and you do that in your sleep. So, but
all right, let's get into some of the games here. We'll get to Notre Dame and Clemson in a little bit. Let's get to Cal Boston College. Cal, again, this is why I was also hesitant to drop. Like I'm hesitant to drop Cal below Stanford. I believe Boston College came back in they came back in each of the first 2 games and then had to win in 11 games on game 3. So this easily could have been a sweep the other way.
100%. I mean, I did tune into a decent amount of this because obviously as a Cal Bear propagandist, and then obviously we are all BC Birdball propagandists here on this wonderful show. It was, again, game 2 for me was the most impressive from BC because that felt like Cal had that game. And then they just battled back. And it wasn't like, I mean, did Cal play their best baseball? No. But it didn't feel like Cal necessarily just lost the game there. Like Boston College just they stuck to their approach. I mean, it was impressive to see just situational hitting there. I mean, that's what Tyler Donato wants, right? Like it was fun, Monty, on Saturday. I got the closest thing I'll probably get to Todd Ball with Alabama, with them literally getting a leadoff walk, a hit and run, and then a bunt play to score the first run of the game. Like I was like, that's BC Birdball. What is this doing in SEC country? But like it was just fun to watch that again. And game 3 was just, I mean, you got to feel for Gavin Eddy for Cal. Like he pitched incredible and wasn't enough.
Did we see the Twitter beef between his dad and the BC Birdball burners?
No.
What?
So
no way.
There was a whole thing on Twitter the night before because they moved the game up to 10 a.m., which is 7 a.m. Cal time. We almost got 6 a.m. Cal, and as you can tell by the score, not quite 6 a.m. Cal. And he made some complaints about Donato and them making the decision to move that forward, and BC burners on Twitter took offense to that. So a lot of Twitter drama in this series, which as a third party observer, I thought was great theater. To add to something I was already excited about because we were getting brunch and baseball on Sunday morning ahead of the other 1:00 games because this was a 10 a.m. game. It went to 11 innings. And by the way, it was a walk-off error, technically. It would have been a sac fly. Or it was categorized as a sac fly, but it was an error because he dropped it. But yeah, it was a lot of drama. You guys will have to go and look it up because it was interesting. It was pretty crazy to see that. But yeah, I mean, Cal's offense not quite as good as they could have been, but we know BC's pitching's legit. They didn't even have to use Sean Hart or Gavin Soares out of the bullpen. I think I think both those guys have been battling something. But Brady Miller fully stretched out now, and he is a future ace. I mean, he had really good freshman numbers last year, throwing like 86, 87. He's throwing 91, 92 from the left side now. Which is going to be a problem for somebody who was able to locate and get results with 86, 87 in the ACC. But speaking of another star, the guy I named my freshman of the weekend, Jet Kennedy, the shortstop for Cal, has for the last 3 weeks has been arguably up there with Carson Kurse and Eric Becker as one of the best shortstops in the conference.
Yeah, I mean, again, not someone I necessarily circled on my bingo card to be making such an impact for Cal this season, but that's also part of the reason too, Monty, not to keep dunking on Nick for moving Cal to the bottom, but like that's part of the reason why I've been hesitant about Cal is like some of the guys that I think that I expected to maybe be a little bit more of a contributor haven't necessarily done that yet, and they're still sitting right there. I mean, like you said, this series could have easily been a sweep for Cal. Like you got to give credit to Boston College; they obviously went out and took this series, but like Cal is knocking on the door. This was not like some, like I don't remember who I was talking to. It was like this like Mississippi State fan yesterday. He was like asking me about some of the ACC teams I really like to watch. I talked about Cal, and he's like, they're not very good, right? And I was like, they're not like obviously like world beater top 25, but they're a very scrappy group that is probably a weekend or two away like from kind of getting in that conversation. I mean, again, like they were knocking on the door right before ACC play for top 25, and then obviously we've had a tough start since then in ACC play. But yeah, it's been, again, this was a very fun series and a rivalry we maybe didn't know we needed.
Yeah. And the other good thing before I let Nick give his thoughts, because Nick has not talked in a hot second, the Carter Hendrickson making his return to the lineup. Obviously, he was somebody who made a huge impact in their first game and a half in Puerto Rico and is a Todd Interdonato baseball player. I think Todd actually told me he thinks he's their best hitter last weekend at NC State, and he's back, coming back, I think, from the hamstring injury, and that could be a huge catalyst. Colin Larson playing well again after a really poor start offensively from him. That could be huge to go along with, this emergence from Julio Soler and Danny Surowiec and, the production from Nick Wang and Timon Alfie. But Nick, talk to me about what you're seeing from this series and how you're feeling about BC Bird Ball.
Man, I am loving what BC Bird Ball is doing. I'm telling you guys, I think if that series before the week before against NC State, if that were up in BC, I think State loses that series. They're playing scrappy. They look really, really good. The pitching, I mean, this was a great series for the BC pitching. Also for Cal too. I mean, you look at these starting pitching lines. I mean, they're almost identical. So you got to give Cal a lot of credit there, because we knew going into this season that Cal was going to have a pretty good starting rotation, a very underrated starting rotation. And yeah, I mean, I do have, you guys can dunk on me, but yeah, I did put Cal at 16. I think that's just more of like,
you wanted to make some changes.
1-5 Stanford. Stanford's got like a pretty good win against a Pitt team we like a lot. But it's like splitting hairs at this point. But anyway, BC, I love what they're doing. I hope they continue to do it. And they're doing it from all different ways. Like a couple of weeks ago, Nick Wang had 3 home runs. This week, he had 3 walks. So they're doing it all different kinds of ways, and I love it.
Yeah, and you were off the wagon on them not too long ago as well. The first little stutter they got, you jumped off the wagon, and then you're like,
great in ACC play.
I do want to shout out. I normally Bradley at D1 is somebody who kills my hopes and dreams with some of his objectivity. And I remember talking to him in Jacksonville, and I was like, I don't know if BC Bird Ball is going to be good, but they're going to be fun. And Bradley very confidently said to me, they're going to be good. And I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, that's why that conversation sticks out, because normally I'm like, I'm excited about this team, and Bradley's like, well, this is why they're not that good. And I got excited because he was like, BC's actually good, because he had just seen them in Puerto Rico. So I wanted to shout that out of that conversation. So I was like, oh, okay, because I was like, I don't know if they're gonna be good, but I'm gonna enjoy watching them. So yeah, moving along, big series sweep, the first series sweep at home for Boston College since 2017, which is nuts. They do have an ACC sweep as recently as 2 years ago in Atlanta, when they went down and swept Georgia Tech early in the 2024 conference play before the Buzz Boys got going there. And, somebody used to love them. Moving along. A big underrated series that kind of went under the radar this weekend. Plenty of storylines in Blacksburg as Virginia Tech bounces back, wins their first ACC series in their first home series over Duke. 10 innings on Sunday with a walk-off by Sam Grube, his second walk-off. I'm seeing our buddy Alex has the meme Groovy Tuesdays. Which is fantastic. So shout out to Alex and that meme. But the big one, I mean, Virginia Tech very easily could have swept this if I think Preston Kroll came in on Saturday and he had given up just 2 hits in 6 innings, and both hits were home runs given up to Matthew Strand in that game that ultimately ended up being a Duke win. I mean, shout out to Matthew Strand. He has stepped in as the full-time catcher due to the injury to Cider Cannon and has been absolutely fantastic. I think this was his second multi-homer game. And then Caden Smith had a moonshot that was nearly 500 feet, I think, on Sunday. But tough there for Duke. Obviously, it's one that kind of got away from him, but also shout out Brendan Yagesh on Friday for Virginia Tech, making a spot start and going 7 shutout. I mean, if it wasn't for Danilowicz and Riddell, I think this is my ACC pitcher of the week with that kind of a performance, given the context and all the injuries that Virginia Tech has suffered and somewhat avoided, because they do have the guys that left games injured back in the lineup. Renfro obviously having a big bounce back start there on Saturday. But yeah, talk to me about Virginia Tech and Duke, Mr. Moose Man over there, Nick.
I mean, this was a series that I think Virginia Tech really, really needed to have. We're talking about, the last 2 weeks, they played Georgia Tech and Virginia. And then before that, they played a gauntlet down in Texas. So I'm not surprised that they won this. I know I did pick Duke because I just felt like Duke had better vibes going into this series.
Better vibes.
They did. I thought they did.
Just the way you said, I picked them because they had better vibes. Just sounds so March Madness bracket picking. I'm picking this upset because the vibes.
The vibes, yeah. But no, this was a great series by Virginia Tech. I was very pleased with some of the pitching. I think they can still improve, but the bats came alive for sure. And for Duke, I think this is just, they're still feeling it out. They're still trying to figure things out. I think they're still playing better than I think some people thought. I'm still kind of a little impressed with a pretty good start considering all that we know about Duke baseball so far. But yeah, Virginia Tech squeaks this out, and it was much deserved and much needed.
Yeah, the thing is, I think Duke is making up for some of the depth and talent gap by playing really hard and fighting and being scrappy. And I think I think that's what's keeping them, kind of in it. But Micah, talk to me.
I mean, it was impressive. The game I got the most, I guess, like eyes on was that Saturday game that obviously Duke had won. Partially because Brett Renfro was a much better than he has been, but still not necessarily the Brett Renfro that I think I was hoping to see this season.
What you guessed did is what we expect from Brett Renfro.
So I watched his outing, and then I kind of looked away, and then I saw Virginia Tech tied it in the 8th, and I was like, okay, again, these are two very scrappy teams. Here we go. And a lot of times I think those when you've got that type of situation, I kind of lean the home team finding a way. And Duke immediately answers with 2 in the 9th. And obviously that ends up being final with an 8-6 win. And it was kind of okay, here comes Duke. 'Cause I remember it was funny, Monty. I noticed I don't remember who it was. I don't know if it may have been Corey's family member or something, Mascara's family member. Someone liked our picks randomly after what would have been the final of this game. And I was like, what Virginia Tech took the series? Because I thought there was because the last I had looked, they were winning early. That's when I caught my eye that I realized they had gotten tied, and then I watched Duke take the lead. And sure enough, it was because, Duke had won the game. And I was like so it was just very funny to me because I was like, huh? What is going on? But yeah, no, this was a very good series for, again, for both teams. Duke's not an NCAA tournament team, I don't think, but they are going to ruin someone's season.
Oh yeah.
And I think what's really fun right now is you see the buy-in of this program makes you think that next year we can start to expect Duke to be an NCAA tournament team. You can look at that hey, they're going to be knocking on the door, because in all reality, they could do it this year. They really could. I still don't think they have the depth that they would need to be. I guess our league is.
And DeMartini's been benched. Cider Cannon is injured, and the fact that they're still putting together this kind of fight with those two guys that I thought were so critical to their success being essentially non-factors is impressive.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, they're gonna probably end up ruining someone's season, or maybe ruining a team's chance to host a regional late in the year, or maybe even in the conference tournament. But this kind of felt again, like Nick said it, Virginia Tech had to have this. In all reality, if Virginia Tech loses this series, I probably would have, not me obviously, buried the body just yet, but sorry,
I would have. I'm still very upset about, because my narrative, the pitching has just been nowhere near what I expected. Remember my hot take is they would be a regional host. That's not, we can go ahead and
I put Clemson in Omaha, Monty's, and they might miss the tournament entirely. So you might.
Clemson is going to be, I think, they'll be fine tournament team, but they've got some issues they got to figure out. The thing is I love Micah because he's so up and down, just like a normal fan, and there's still plenty of time left. But yeah, they've got some major concerns. I think perfect. Perfect segue there, Micah, because we're talking Clemson at Notre Dame. The thing that concerns me is Riddell, obviously fantastic. He scatters 4 hits, but there were also 3 errors. And Clemson still couldn't get a run together. They're just not able to take advantage of opportunities. They were walked a ton in that Georgia Tech series by Tate McKee. I think Tate McKee walked 5 guys and maybe hit a couple others, and they didn't score any runs on McKee. Which is unusual. But how about the job Seth Volz, the pitching coach, has done Volz on Ty Uber, who is a bona fide Sunday starter and probably one of the better Sunday starters in the conference. Giving Notre Dame a shot to win a series or go for a sweep on Sunday. Obviously, we would also expect Drew Titzburg to be one of the better Sunday starters. But, Notre Dame's offense going off without Bino Waters really going on a tear has been impressive as well. It's been Drew Birkland. It's been Jay Lee. Davis Johnson has been the primary catalyst. And then, of course, Mark Quattrani, who's not listed here. Noah Coy is probably one of the more underrated shortstops in the conference. And you also got to remember a lot of the core of this Notre Dame team, freshmen and sophomores, so they can continue to get better. I mean, this offense can be really dangerous if Mason Barth and Jamie Z do what Bino Waters and Parker Prestevich and Jace Lee did last year, where they start to play their best ball in the second half of the year. This offense can go to another level. But I'm going to let Micah talk about his Clemson Tigers here and what he's seeing, because there's some concerns there. And, I'm curious. The fan base is rumbling a little bit. They're not happy, but there's still a lot of baseball to be played. But, Micah, I want to hear your thoughts about Clemson.
That panic button is looking very appetizing right now. Like it's screaming at me and I want to hit it. I'm not going to do it just yet, but I mean, Aiden Canuck looks better, obviously a lot better than he did last week against Georgia Tech. But that's the problem, is we felt like Aiden Canuck was going to be the guy that walks it on the mound on Friday night and is the best arm. And he has yet to be that in any of his outings in the ACC. And obviously, I think this weekend's a bad example because Jack Riddell, I think, is the best Friday guy in the ACC. But you look at that and you're like, okay, that's not an ideal. It's almost like you might need to start pitching him off. Pitch him on a Saturday, give yourself that, advantage. That's probably been my favorite thing I've started to monitor, Monty, during all my road trips of these different schools, different conferences, is learning how different coaches choose to use their arms. I mean, a great example at Lamar, we throw our best starter on Saturday. We pitch off.
VCU does a pod system, but their Saturday guy is not part of the pod. So he pitches, he'll go 7 innings. He's Kansas's midweek guy last year, so they got a little bit of an advantage there. But it is interesting, especially the mid-major level, to see how they do it. But I'd like to see a little bit more creativity at the Power 4 level.
Yeah, and again, Sharman was not very good this weekend. That I think if he would have been better, this would have been the bullpen is getting just absolutely taxed early. Canuck's not going long, even when he he pitched well, but he's not going long. I look at that, Monty. In 2 days, they had 11 innings of bullpen work, and then obviously you go into the actual weekend, or excuse me, on Sunday, and you got another 5. That is not winning baseball. I don't care if you're how good your bullpen is. I mean, their bullpen is not that great. It's good. It's a good bullpen, but it's not the best in the ACC. But even if so, 16 innings of work is too much for your bullpen. Your starters just have to go longer. It has to be done. And I mean, I don't mean disrespect to Notre Dame, because I think we all think Notre Dame's good. But do we think Notre Dame's a top 4 team in this conference? No. Maybe not. Maybe you do, Monty. I don't. No.
If they keep playing the way they are, but no, I wouldn't say that.
What you look at, right?
I was just looking at my power rankings where I had them.
Wait till they see Florida State. I don't remember their full schedule off the top of my mind, but I would take that Louisville lineup right now over Notre Dame's lineup. I would take Virginia's lineup over that. I would just go down the list of offenses they're going to face, and it's if you can't. And again, their offense is not playing poorly, but they need more from these guys.
It is playing poor. I mean, to an extent. I mean, it's
so what their expectations are. Yes, like they're not like the worst. Like they're not a stinking.
Right.
Like, they're not stinking. But
against power 4 pitching, it
needs to get going. Jack Crichton needs to get going. Tristan McLady needs to get going. Jacob Durrell needs to get going. Purify needs to get going.
Well, Purify is going to be out for some time.
Did I miss something? I may have missed something.
Yeah, I can't remember I'm not going to say what the specific injury is because I can't remember what it is, but he'll be out for some time.
Did it happen this weekend or did it happen?
Yeah, it happened this weekend. I think Jay. So yeah, on Sunday, Jay Dillard moved over to second, and Fultz, the talented freshman, started at third. So I want to say it might be fingers, but I don't want to misspeak and say the wrong thing. But yeah, Purify is going to miss some time. So that's a huge hit too. Like.
Yeah.
So, yeah. On the other hand, Nick, talk to me about Notre Dame.
Man, Monty, all the credit to you. I mean, you were very, very early on this team. I love that I kind of hopped on the train with you. They look fantastic. I was very concerned going into this season with what they lost in the transfer portal. But, I mean, Jack Riddell, I think, has – yes.
They lost Carson Tinney. You can just say it.
They lost Carson Tinney.
There you go. Because you made it sound like they lost a bunch of guys in the transfer portal. They lost Ricky Reith, but that's not as big, Carson Tinney, you can say it.
I'm just so impressed with Jack Riddell. He has looked phenomenal. I think he's a top pitcher in this conference. I think he should be leading an ACC Pitcher of the Year right now. The lineup looks great. They look really, really consistent throughout these first couple of weeks of ACC play. I put them well into my top 25. They're top 5 in my ACC power rankings. They look phenomenal. This is the best start I can remember since they last went to Omaha in 2022. They look great. I love them.
Yeah, it's a testament to this coaching staff because they've really built a program because they're set up not just for this year, but for moving down the road. Obviously, you're going to have to replace Riddell, whose draft stock is rising. He would have been gone either way, but what they've done is really impressive. They are 22-5 in their last 9 ACC series, stretching back to last year. Remember, a full season of ACC conference play is 30 games, so 22-5. Even if they got swept, 22-8 is normally good enough to win the ACC regular season.
Is there
also Ty Uber? I just want to glaze on him a little bit. He's been really, really, really good.
Micah's face.
The word usage there was a little wild, but okay. All right. Okay, question for you guys because I'm genuinely curious.
Yes,
I had Notre Dame 7th in my power rankings. I don't know what yours was, Monty. I didn't get a chance to look at yours, but I saw Nick's.
Mine won't be out until after the midweek.
I mean, obviously, again, this is assuming midweek stuff. I mean, they play Central Michigan. No, excuse me, they play Western Michigan, whichever directional Michigan it is this week. But I chalk this more up to a Clemson problem than necessarily a Notre Dame wows me. Like, I'm not saying what Notre Dame didn't do a lot to impress. But this is a Notre Dame team that did just lose a series to Louisville. And so, like, I'm still pumping the brakes a little bit because, again, like, they also dropped one at Duke. Like,
they should have won. Yeah, what's interesting about that, you bring up, they did struggle to close out 2 games because they very easily could be 9-1 or 8-1 in conference play.
Correct.
That's a good point.
I'm still a little, not saying that Notre Dame is not like when I do my bracketology, they're going to be in as of right now. I'm not saying like they're missing the NCAA tournament, like, or they're not good, but like I'm hesitant on like you get to pick. Is it Notre Dame impresses you or red flag Clemson? I'm more worried about I chalk this up to more of like what the WTF is going on with Clemson than I did necessarily like Notre Dame. Wow.
Can I ask who you have ahead of them?
I'm a vibes guy, so I'll go. I would go Notre Dame wows me, but you're not necessarily wrong. I'm just a vibes guy, so I'll go on the positive.
Florida State, Georgia Tech, Virginia, North Carolina, NC State, and Louisville all in front of Notre Dame.
Okay.
Yeah, the Louisville one's tricky because they just won the series at Louisville, but then Louisville loses, and
Louisville just lost a series to North Carolina. I get that, but like, look
they
at
could have
played, and again, like Clemson, like has not looked very good. So it's kind of like, again, like how much stock do I want to put into, like, is Clemson just hitting their head on something right now, like, or is it, again, you can't discredit Notre Dame. I want to make that very clear. But like game 2 felt like that should have been Clemson's game. And this time Notre Dame closed the door where they hadn't been doing that the last couple weekends. So it's kind of like,
I think you're
Notre Dame broken through, or is this Clemson like just red flag city? Because again, we didn't get a chance to watch Saturday and Sunday, so I didn't get to really fully see, right, like how it all went down. But it's just, I
think you're running into the
what the heck Clemson than I did. Wow, like Notre Dame's legit. I don't mean that's not an insult to Notre Dame, but I just look at the trajectory of both teams. And it's like Notre Dame kind of did the same recipe they've done the last 2 weekends. The difference is I think into a team that's running into themselves.
Headline: Micah thinks Notre Dame overrated. Wow, and they gave you a hat.
That's because Monty hasn't sent me my hat yet. That's
what it is.
I think you're running into the same problem I had, Micah, a couple of weeks ago, where I was kind of putting Duke ahead above everybody else early in conference play.
So
much stock into Miami, and now look where we see Miami right now. So you could be onto something.
Wow. No, we'll find out. Notre Dame's got a ranked matchup against North Carolina. We did say that stretch that they're in the middle of, the 18-game stretch, they needed to go 7-11. No worse than that. They are off to a 4-2 start. So obviously I think the expectations are changing because they've played so well. So that bar is going to go a little bit higher. Like, it's not going to be just enough to make the tournament now. Now you've got to try and get some better seating, maybe put yourself in a conversation that people probably didn't see coming, possibly, with a regional host. I don't know how the facilities are there, but
we could definitely host a regional. I think there's enough room for bleachers and stuff that they could fill.
Yeah. So now you start to think about the expectation, and I'm not sure what they're going to need to do for that, but obviously you start with winning a home series against North Carolina, which will.
What's really cool, if anyone watching lives within a driving distance of South Bend, Indiana, it will cost you $0 to go watch that series. As Notre Dame home games are free, so strongly recommend. Like, you know what? I will defend Notre Dame a little bit. It's not like they price gouge their fans because, you couldn't watch it on stream. But if you love Notre Dame baseball enough, you don't have to pay, minus your gas, to watch them. So,
yep. Well, and again, we hope Notre Dame can get in. Obviously, we just got to worry about them opting out, right? Sorry.
How long were you hanging on to that?
I just thought of it and was like, crap. I got to take a shot, even though I love this Notre Dame program and team.
It's sad. They don't play Miami. There's no way for them to have a head-to-head.
Yep. So, moving along to Georgia Tech and Pitt, we've got some concerns that Georgia Tech quelled a little bit of on Sunday. Tate McKee, I don't know what's going on with him, but obviously the Pitt offense is legit. But Georgia Tech, I think they were up 11-1 at one point in that Friday game. It was at least 11-3. I think it might have been 8-0 and then 11-3. So they had 2 8-run leads at separate points. And then Saturday, game 2, they were always chasing. And then game 3, it was 12-0. They were about to run rule and they gave up 4 runs. And then, of course, there was a weather delay that then they hit the drop dead time. So that was only a 7-inning game there. Carson Kurse continues to be the best number 9 hitter in the country, although he kind of moved up to 7th, which I was like, just keep him at 9. So I can keep saying he's the best number 9 hitter in the country. He leads the nation in doubles. He had 3 more this weekend. Zuckerman's revenge weekend was all right. He had a home run in his first at bat, which was awesome. Alex Hernandez got jammed on a pitch. And again, I think the balls are juiced this year, the way that guys are hitting home runs. He hit one out. The wind obviously helped that one. Drew Burress in a bit of a slump again. Drew Burress has not been his best, and yet this offense is still elite. Jackson Blakely looks like he's taking care of business on the Sunday roll. He pitched well against Clemson until he started to fatigue, which I think is why they only had him go 4 innings today. And then I guess the bullpen did a little bit better this time around than they did against Clemson and was able to shut the door on Sunday. So the problem now is that Tate McKee and Dylan Lloyd did not pitch particularly well, and you don't want to have these kind of games against teams that pitch a little bit better than Pitt does. But we will start with Nick. Talk to me a little bit about Pitt and how impressed you were with Pitt this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, hats off to them. They have number 3 coming into town, and I mean, they almost went blow for blow offensively wise. I love what they're doing. Nestler looks really good. Kai Wagner, love him. He's been awesome all year. Very underrated player, I think, in the conference. Pitt can hang with the best of them, I think, guys. I think they're kind of on the trend of, I think they're better than Duke right now, but they're going to upset a lot of teams, I think, down the stretch. And I think they have a more plausible case to make the NCAA tournament as we sit right now. So they gave Georgia Tech a run for their money. I'm a little concerned with the Jackets and their pitching. I don't feel particularly good because now I didn't say this out loud. Actually, Micah did, because how good do we think Clemson is now? And I just hate that for Georgia Tech, because that's just going to be the narrative.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
They beat Clemson, but now Clemson's not, in the top 25 anymore. So how really good is Georgia Tech? And I kind of hate that for those guys. So we'll see.
That's true.
I love what Pitt has been doing.
They had to deal with that narrative last year with the scheduling,
right.
And now it could be rearing its ugly head. I mean, the pitching is, to me, I think the pitching is streaky. I think they come out and they have really good games. I think Tate McKee and Dylan Lloyd will come out. They may come out next week and be great, but then they're streaky, and that doesn't bode well for postseason play. I don't think they're consistently bad, but they're just a little bit streaky right now. But there's still plenty of time to figure out. But they've got to do some soul searching on the pitching side to figure that out. Because Tate McKee, you expect him to take another step forward from last season, where he was a pretty middle of the road Friday night guy that had some really good moments, and then expect him this year to be a bona fide ace, and we haven't quite seen that yet. And I know he's been working hard trying to take care of that, but it's been tough. Micah, talk to me about this series and what you were seeing from this. I mean, I don't know if Pitt's a tournament team, because that pitching depth is just a question mark there, but that offense is tournament worthy for sure.
You know where I was on Friday in Montgomery?
Not in Pittsburgh.
But you know where I was? I was in Auburn, Alabama. Do you know who may have played their most recent game before that Friday night game? Who they played?
Midweek games don't count.
No.
I'm just kidding. But yeah, they did play Auburn, and the pitching
I talked to a couple analytics guys. Shout out to the Auburn staff, really good people. So that's the point. Like, we were talking, because obviously, they actually kind of gave me a hard time, because I was talking about Jake Marciano, who pitched on Friday, obviously in his Virginia Tech time, and what I knew about that. And then we started talking about Georgia Tech. Do you know what they said to me? If you don't walk Georgia Tech, they are not that good offensively. First off, I disagreed with that to a point, but they did have a point. It is.
I disagree with it, just because they're doing they're playing a midweek. That's all I'm saying. And they also were. You
have to remember, they're watching film from weekends. They're not just they beat the crap. But what did they not do in the midweek? They didn't walk them.
Well, but they also were up. They also punched him in the mouth right away, so the offense is chasing the whole time anyway.
How many times did Georgia Tech walk this weekend, Monty? Do you know? Against Pitt?
No.
21 times. When you do not walk Georgia Tech, that is when they struggle. You know who didn't walk Georgia Tech? Georgia State, when they beat them. I know that's dumb, but don't walk Georgia Tech. Don't give them free base runners.
I will say that is also probably true for a lot of
correct.
That too, yeah.
But I'm saying, though, the Georgia Tech offense is very, very good, but when they run into teams that can pitch, that can be an issue, because they are currently not pitching very well. You know how many crooked innings Pitt had this weekend, Monty? 9. That's a problem.
What's the definition of a crooked inning? 3?
Oh, I did too. I always
Okay.
think that's a crooked inning,
no, that's fine. I just didn't know what.
Actually a 3, but I feel like you make the same shape as a 2, so that's a crooked number in my head. But if not, it's 7. They had 2 that
it was
innings. Like, that's a problem. Like, again, I'm not talking about like missing the tournament. I'm not talking not being good, but like we're talking about we've talked about Georgia Tech being the ACC's best chance for national championships. Hey Becca, what's up? Shout out to Becca. Met her at the
midweeks only matter when it helps my narrative. Otherwise, they don't matter. That's the thing. Is midweeks matter depending.
I'm not putting a ton of weight into the actual midweek performance. Minus, I get told that, and then I looked into it, and I was like, he's got a point. Like, and obviously, it's a very valid point. You don't walk a team; they're going to probably score less because
that's why it
works. But like, the crooked innings is a problem again. And I'm holding Georgia Tech at a standard of like competing for the national championship.
Right.
Being
they're still
close or being a good baseball team. Like this is a standard than what we've held Georgia Tech to previously. Like, because again, like we talked about, like what makes Georgia Tech different this year was like, well, we know they can hit the living daylights out of the baseball, and we think they're going to be better on the mound. Well, the better on the mound is still very. And so, like, we're, again, like, there's no need to freak out. But, like, I mean, Nick kind of alluded to it, too. Like, part of, like, that, hearing what I heard from Auburn on their scout for Georgia Tech, seeing the box scores myself, seeing the crooked innings that they allowed to pit this weekend, and then factoring in their 3 ACC series being against 3 teams that I have near the bottom of my ACC power rankings at this point in time. It's just kind of, like, creating this little, like, again,
this is why you're dead to them.
Correct.
Because
hey, I did this in 24 though. Remember how much I hated them, and then I magically changed the switch. So maybe this is what they need. Some little tough love from me over here. And maybe I'm a little jealous that they went to the shiny little nickel over here that is Monty and just left me in the dust.
I'm on the Atlanta News talking about them, and
I know like. Who showed up in the postseason, guys? This guy has every time. I've been there.
That's true.
And yet,
I have not.
You forget about me. Anyway,
that's true. Technically, even last year you were in Oxford there, so yeah.
I'm Caleb. My photo is Caleb Daniels' profile picture from the regional last year. So come on, guys. But no, seriously, this is nitpicking Georgia Tech as a national champion. This is not nitpicking Georgia Tech as they're not good. They're not going to host I feel comfortable, Monty, that I'm going to expect you to be signing up for credentials in Atlanta in a couple months, for a regional and super regional. But when I'm talking national champion, as we kind of look at the ACC as we get to the end of March, who do we feel more comfortable? If you had to pick a team to win the national title out of the ACC, the answer is not clear-cut Georgia Tech anymore for me. That's who it was previously, but now it's starting to kind of get a little muddled with how Virginia has looked, Florida State has looked. I
was going to say, Florida State's going to be and my power rankings are Florida State's got to play Florida, and it's funny that I just said midweeks don't matter, but I'm waiting to see how Florida State handles the Florida game tomorrow before I make that change, because I am leaning towards, even though Georgia Tech didn't lose a series, I feel like Florida State.
And I wasn't on the show last week, but I made that change already. If y'all didn't see it, I had Florida State as my number one. I
have not.
I'm just, and again, this is not me being out on Georgia Tech. It's just, again, maybe I had just created an image in my head of this team, the pitching problems are fixed. And again, it's March. It's not like this team can score with anybody. My brain is envisioning. I watched a lot of the top teams in the SEC the last couple weekends. I look at that and I go, those teams pitch at a much higher rate right now than Georgia Tech is. So if we can get that but also Georgia Tech is hitting at rates that I would take the lineup from Georgia Tech on any SEC team I've seen this weekend. I would literally take them over Mississippi State, who has a stacked lineup. But again, I would take the arms from Mississippi State right now over Georgia Tech. So it's when we're talking national championship conversation, and I think all of us are rooting for Georgia Tech to get to Omaha, that's where I start to kind of go, they got some things to figure out. That said, Monty, I know Nick talked about Pitt, so I'm just going to say a short thing on Pitt, but they are gritty, man. That's all they are. That's just gritty Pitt. I mean, the way game one started, that felt like that was like that kind of reminded me, Monty, of when I went and watched Pitt 2 years ago against Virginia, when Virginia punched them in the mouth and then run ruled the crap out of them. This year's Pitt program has an answer, and that's been really fun to watch. Like, again, Pitt's offense can go blow to blow with anybody. Like, you better not like pitch off against them. You better not like Pitt is going to score. I mean, the fact that Pitt was held to 4 on Sunday is a tip of the cap to Georgia Tech's pitching staff, because that did not feel possible. Like, it felt like Pitt is just going to walk out on the field and score 7-8 runs every single time they get a chance to play baseball.
I do think Jackson Blakely has a chance to be something special, but that is a problem that right now he was your best performer on of the starting pitchers this past weekend. Especially with somebody who's not really fully stretched out. Like, he got fatigued against Clemson, and that's how that went. But yeah, I mean, the reason we were so enamored with the pitching staff is they brought in some key guys. They were the 4th best ERA in the conference last year. Now, I will say some of their advanced analytics say that they're underperforming based on what they've done and been somewhat unlucky, but like, they've got to do some soul searching right now and figure this out. There's still plenty of time for them to figure it out, but they've got to figure it out, and hopefully they can, because again, the fan base doesn't really care how good the regular season is, because we know they haven't won a regional since 2006 or 2008. I can't remember which one it is.
Really obnoxious when, again, because like, I know I get made fun of being SEC and Big 12 Micah, and I honestly deserve those insults, but like, when I go to those SEC and Big 12 places, I'm known as ACC Micah. So then I get to do all
that's shit off on both sides.
Yeah, like, I get to do all the ACC. Like, I'm being told Georgia Tech's just what they always are. They're just overrated. And I'm like, no, this team is different. I'm telling you, the Georgia Tech team is different.
I do believe it's
what they're seeing, which is, they lost to Auburn 9-2 in the midweek. Again, correct. Midweeks only matter when it helps your propaganda, not hurts you. But like again, like, it's like Florida, for example. Like, I was being told by some Alabama people, like, well, like, Florida State can't even beat Florida. We're better than Florida State. Shut up. No, you're not. Take the series against Alabama every time. I love you, Rob Vaughn, but no. I
do love me some Rob Vaughn. Rob Vaughn is great.
I'm sorry. I like this Florida State team better than I like the Alabama team. But like, it's just, oh man, like,
yeah, I'm still all aboard this Georgia Tech train. I believe in this team. I think it is a special team, like, in terms of the guys, the culture there. That is, I mean, I think that's special regardless of the outcome, but they've got to get some stuff figured out, or it could be the same old story at the end of the year. But hopefully it's different for the sake of that group. But moving along slowly but surely.
Property.
What'd you say?
I said, talk about reaching for your transitive property.
Oh, you're talking in response
Florida,
to Micah.
Alabama,
I thought you were talking.
That's a football thing we do, not midweek baseball.
I mean, think about what Alabama is, Nick.
That's true. That's true. Hypothetical wins only in the SEC.
The SEC is undefeated, baby. So now I know why Micah got so offended when we first started calling him SEC Micah, because he's taken it from all sides. Now he's gotten used to it, and it's fine. But
people ask me for just means less stickers when I'm in SEC. It's
awesome.
It's more than when I'm at an ACC game.
Love that. Louisville, very unlucky not to pull off the series road win. Obviously 11-1, kind of not a surprise to me on Friday nights. That's Louisville pitching staff struggled, and I was like, okay, here we go. It's going to be a tough weekend for Louisville. Wyatt Danilowicz comes out and dazzles. And as Micah said, his ACC pitcher of the week, partially because of the streaming issues at Notre Dame, and also the fact that
I put a lot of weight.
I know.
I also put a lot of weight into the fact that, like, I mean,
you were more impressed with it. You were putting more stock in UNC than Clemson.
And again, White had to go out there and quite literally match Ryan Lynch. Like, Ryan Lynch was on the other side, was pitching just as well. Like, he had to go out. I'm not saying like that what Jack Waddell did was not that impressive, but like Aiden Kanaka was done after 5. Like, Danilowicz had to go a little bit longer, blow for blow, with Ryan Lynch. And again, like, he was getting 0 run support in this entire situation. So, like,
which is still also shocking because Louisville's offense has been so good.
Like, when I saw that final score, Monty, I said, "Is that supposed to say 12-10?"
Yeah. And And then Sunday it was the 8th inning. They were up. Was it 4-1 or something? They were very close, 4-2, something like that. Louisville was, I think, 4 outs away from clinching, could not make it happen. Went down 7-4. I think they got a home run back in the 9th from Tage Davis, but ultimately it was Chapel Thrill on Sunday again, coming back to win that series for UNC. The offense for UNC, I would have expected a lot better numbers this weekend. And that's where I'm a little bit, again, if we're nitpicking some of our national, Omaha caliber teams, I'm a little concerned about the consistency of the offense for UNC in times. Obviously, we know about the pitching staff. That Caden Glauber kid also pitching 6.1 innings of relief and absolutely, pitching gems on Friday and Sunday out of the bullpen. Walker McDuffie had a good bounce back weekend. But yeah, great underrated series in the last 2 games. Obviously the Friday night game being kind of a disappointment, but yeah, what's your takeaway here, Nick?
Good
stuff.
Thanks. Micah, go ahead.
No, man, I don't have a whole. I mean, we'll go ahead. I don't have a whole lot on it, to be honest. Like, this just felt like this is how this series I expected to go. I mean, it is like 2 of 3 for UNC felt like the number.
Yeah,
you thought that like two of the 3 games were probably going to be close, and there'd probably be one game where it's kind of like one team or the other blew the other out. In a way, like I think this is almost the perfect scenario from a Louisville standpoint. Like, I know it's a weird thing to say, but like sometimes I like, for example, again, oh my gosh, here goes ST Micah. This is going to really hurt the narrative here. But like Texas A&M lost the weekend series against Georgia, but they blew out Georgia in their win 17-1 on Sunday. And so like it kind of like puts this like it makes you feel good about losing a weekend because you're like, look how much we dominated Georgia on the scoreboard overall. Like I almost would rather be the team that like battles in the game and like wins a close one and then loses a close one and then has the blowout, because like the blowouts don't count, but like the blowouts sometimes kind of feel like that game just got away from you. You kind of chalked it up and moved on to the next one kind of thing. So like overall, I mean, I'm not overly shocked about how it played out. I mean, at this point, I feel like Louisville is going to be fighting for bubble spots until they kind of get things maybe rolling here soon, but they've got to, I mean, the biggest thing that happened to Louisville this weekend wasn't even their series. It's the fact that Notre Dame swept Clemson, because that is a very beneficial resume piece right now.
Also, Zion Rose got injured again.
Yeah, I did see that.
So, not great. Did someone just fart?
Not me.
Nick, did you want to say something about your UNC Tar Heels?
Yeah, they're in a good spot. I think I kind of feel like they're in a similar spot where they were last year at this time, where they're just quietly doing the job, quietly playing very good ball. They don't make like a lot of headlines, but they're just, cruising along. And I think that's about as much as you can ask for at this point in the season. The pitching's looked good. The bats have looked really consistent. And as for Louisville, I think Micah's right. They're kind of fighting for a bubble spot here. I still am on the take where 8 was way too high for them. But if you're probably ranked them appropriately at 20, 21 at the beginning of the season, how I felt like they kind of should have been, they're doing okay. Like they're not, I think they're perfectly mid. I think they're a fine club. They're winning some series. They're losing some series. I think they're going to upset some teams. I think they're going to lose more series that make you feel like, what the heck is going on?
Nick, I asked you about I asked you about UNC, your Tar Heels.
Well, I did talk about UNC, if you heard the first part of that.
You did, but that you just decided you were done with them? Okay, fine.
Yeah, just,
Good stuff. Let's talk about a top 25 series in Charlottesville that I was lucky to be at. We had Wake Forest at Virginia, and Virginia comes out on top with a 14-4 run rule game on Sunday. Some things happened. That Kyle Johnson start obviously was planned. Henry Zatkowski came out and pitched 5 innings. I think had 7 strikeouts in relief. So that he's just piggybacking Kyle Johnson as they look to extend KJ out on the mound. But if you look, KJ also had a good day good weekend at the plate, 3 for 7, a double, 2 home runs, 5 RBIs, including the go-ahead 3-run blast on Sunday when they were down 4-2 to kind of take that game over and put Wake to bed. Chris Lavonis pitched it pretty well. That pitch count was up. And again, E.T., the hitting coach, what a fantastic job he's done putting game plans together. But, if you don't walk Virginia, they're probably not very good offensively. They're very similar profile. I would imagine that's probably, if you do the research that Micah just did for Georgia Tech, I bet if you do the similar research for Virginia, because their offensive profile, they grind out a lot of at bats. I bet it's a very similar situation to what Micah found with Georgia Tech. So that's why I just made that little quip, not just to necessarily.
You're probably right, Monty. Honestly, I probably should do more of a deep dive. I just know my eyes got opened up by the Auburn staff.
Oh yeah, it's just seeing both Georgia Tech and Virginia a lot. They both seem like grinded out teams that rely on a ton of free passes.
Does Wake Forest have a problem on Friday nights?
Yes.
Like, does Morningstar need to be bumped?
I'll
be honest. I haven't watched enough.
I think they're talking about it.
Yeah, I'm not trying to come at the kid. That's never the spot I want to be at. But at some point, you're almost punting your Friday every
Bagwell will also be in the rotation.
Yeah.
And Daly should be back somewhat soon too. He's throwing.
That's good.
So they got some reinforcements. It's just, what's funny is they lead the nation in velocity, average fastball velocity.
Jeez,
that doesn't surprise me. We know it's really cool.
It only surprised me a little bit, but I normally expect an SEC school with the, I didn't realize Reese Bowie was throwing 98 from the left side. I thought he was 93, 94. And then I was like, holy crap, he's coming at with 98 from the left side.
Just don't let someone get a hold of it.
Yeah, that's the problem.
I saw that against Florida State, or I'm sorry, Stanford. Don't let someone get a hold of that. But I think Wake does have a Friday problem, and I hate to say that. Blake has just not looked good. His only quality start, I think, was the Stanford series
when he was ACC Pitcher of the Week, right?
Yeah, correct. The long ball is a bit of a struggle too right now for Wake. Obviously, we've seen them outside of the couch now, and only 2 home runs this weekend.
And the JD Stein one, I think, was only 95 exit velocity. So the ball was carrying out to left. The one it's funny, the one he should have had one on Friday night based on how hard he hit it, but it went to dead center. So he hit it, he crushed it, and then but then the one he hit that actually got out was only 95, and it was just because it's carrying to left. But by the way, JD Stein interviewed him after the game. He is a sweet baby angel. We need to protect him. We need to protect that kid at all costs.
JD is awesome.
Yeah, we need to protect him at all costs. He is a gem. He was just smiling and just so happy. He forgot his jersey at the hotel on Saturday and had to wear Kyler Baxter's number 0. So he hits his first collegiate home run, and I'm talking to him, and he's just got a grin. I'm watching him talk, and I'm like, my face hurts from watching him smile. And he's talking about how he blacked out. And the next day he comes in, and they're wearing different jerseys. He's still wearing the number 0 because he hit his first collegiate home run wearing Kyler's jersey. So he's wearing it again. Really threw off UVA radio because he was listed as a starter, but then all of a sudden you've got somebody wearing a different number in his spot, and then he hits a double. But that kid, I just wanted to say that when I interviewed him, I was like, protect him at all costs, because he is just such a kid and looks like he's just having the time of his life. And I asked Grant if he was like that all the time. He's like, yes. That kid, I was like, man, my face hurts just watching him grin. Sweet baby angel. Sweet baby angel. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, I saw him today, and he's just always a smile on his face. Just loves to talk. He's chowing down. He's just having so much fun.
Just living life. So yeah, JD Stein's
is just living life. He's just living life.
Just a new favorite of mine after interviewing him. And the good news is Boston Torres back made his first start the other day and absolutely crushed the ball. I think that lengthens their lineup. That's huge. So yeah, just wanted to throw that out there, Nick.
Yeah, I mean, the reason why Monty, why I picked Wake was because when they're kind of really feeling low, they usually find a series. And I thought that this would be the series where they can pick themselves back up. Obviously not the case. They have some serious concerns. I feel a little shaky going into the Cal series this weekend. There's just a lot to be fixed. Lavonis and Javar Williams have really been your consistent offense and defensive production throughout this season. That's all about I can say. It was good to see Blake Schaaf kind of get off the mat a little bit. He had a pretty good series after, batting sub 200. He looks really good now. So I'm glad that he had a big series.
The lineup looked much better and much stronger with Torres back in there. Schaaf hit well. Stein hit well. So it gets lengthy when it happens. But for Virginia, I mean, they're just taking care of business, and the offense is good. Like I said, ET's game plans. Eric Becker, we talked about that play, but where he's developed from where he was this time last year, because remember how poor he was defensively at shortstop last year, Micah? Defensively, and now he has legitimately turned himself into a pro, the ability to play shortstop at the next level, which is crazy that he made that adjustment mid-season last year, and it's continued. I mean, I thought that was Griff O'Farrell making that play because it reminded me of that Louisville. I think were you there for that Louisville spin play that he made a couple of years ago?
I was
in person, yeah, and it was like that. And I think somebody said it reminded them of that, and apparently Becker turned and said, "Mine's better." In the dugout. But yeah, I'm sure Griff is very pleased with his successor's spin play there. But real quick before we move on, succinctly, Micah, quick feelings on how you're feeling about Virginia, because again, you like to run a little bit cold on them just to keep your feelings protected.
I'm buying back in, Monty.
Oh no!
It's getting harder and harder to deny. But no, I mean, again, like this weekend for me, again, I'm still questioning a lot about Wake Forest. It's just again, the way the Florida State series went, obviously, like, yeah, they started the year with the sweep of Stanford, and since then they're 1-5 in ACC play. They've played teams with but I would say, playing NCAA tournament teams, they haven't looked very good. It's kind of, again, it's a concerning group. And like, I've been around Houston a lot, and I've talked to some people from the Houston staff, and like, again, that was game one, so I'm not putting too much weight into it, but like, they were kind of shocked, like how like Wake Forest looked when they played them. Like, for someone that was given the preseason hype that they were given, they were like, this kind of felt like we were just playing a middle of the pack Big 12 team. And that's never a good thing to be told when you're in a program like Wake Forest. So, again, we'll see. I'm not writing Wake Forest off by any means, but I felt bad because I saw some of the Wake Forest burners that are normally trying to attack me for hating Wake Forest being like, I hate being a Wake Forest fan. And I'm like, guys, I'm sorry that but at the same time, I'm glad you're not in my mentions today. But
well, Houston would feel like that because they're going to Omaha. So
we're not paying attention to Houston. We're just assuming.
Nick, I don't know if you know this, but if the season ended today, Houston's not even going to the Big 12 tournament.
Yeah, I know.
No,
I know
don't.
Exactly where they are. I know.
I prefer to not check and just assume they're going to Omaha.
Yeah.
And then be like, what?
I'm going to do that from now on. Thank you, Monty.
They didn't get swept by Kansas this weekend, who hadn't won a weekend against a Power 4 team in a minute. Yeah, you're good. You're good.
By the way, I was going to be at the couch for Wake Cal, but I was asked not to. And with the way gas prices are,
Hey, Monty, what's your Venmo? As a Cal propagandist, what is your Venmo?
No.
I have some free nights at the Best Western about 30 minutes away. I got you.
I also don't think Grant will credential me. He was talking about if Lavonis
really cool, Monty. You're an important guy. Cal's got this thing called a pass list.
Well, I was going to say
on that.
Lavonis, if he had gotten lit up, Grant was talking about printing out pictures of my face and putting it around the couch that says "Do not let in." So luckily Lavonis pitched well enough to keep that from happening. But no, I'm going to be staying home and covering VCU this week. Give them some love. They're 5-1 in the A10, and I'm working on some pieces about them. The A10 is going to be crazy this year, and it's always fun to see the next crop of ACC guys.
Micah gets all this heat. SEC Micah, Big 12 Micah.
Those aren't future
A10 Monty, and nobody cares.
Those are the future ACC guys, though.
God forbid I'm scouting our regional opponents, and you're over here like, let me go support the A10.
All could be regional opponents.
I just get to go to the Diamond over and over again,
you want to go to the asbestos-filled barn that is the Diamond. Okay.
And by the way, the Squirrels have taken random stuff from there, and it's really annoying because like they took the Wi-Fi sign that doesn't even apply. Like so like yeah, it's frustrating, it's annoying, but the product on the field's not bad. All right, let's talk the last series of the weekend, NC State, Florida State. NC State came out really great on Friday night. Anderson Nance had his best outing of the year. He struggled, but he threw 3 shutout, but then it was all Florida State. Jacob Duden pitched pretty well. I think the 8 earned runs, it makes it seem like he got lit up early, but what happened is the reliever gave up a grand slam to Braden Dowd, which really inflated his line. Braden Dowd was an absolute star, but I mean, the offense did a great job getting Trey Beard out of there, but the Florida State bullpen was really good this weekend. John Abraham is probably their best reliever and multi-inning guy, but Brody Purcell in that game was particularly impressive. I think it was 4 innings, 1 run to close out that game against NC State. And then on Sunday, it was all Florida State. Miles Bailey is an absolute stud. The Seminoles are getting healthy, boys, and the lineup's legit. Things are coming together for Florida State. And we've talked about, are they the best team in the ACC?
I think they are right now. I mean, I just think they have better pitching than Georgia Tech has, and their lineup is not as good as Georgia Tech, but I think they can, they can score with the best of them, especially if Miles Bailey continues on that tear that he's
having Dowd and Putnam healthy, and then Hunter Carnes is getting back. Gabe Frazier made a pitch hit appearance, so he must be close to getting back fully healthy. The freshmen have been beyond impressive. Yeah. I'm not going to fault anyone who's saying FSU is better than Georgia Tech. The nice thing about all this is we get that matchup in a couple of weeks, which will be fantastic.
And again, the good thing is too, like my argument, like why I had Florida State above them is like you just look at the opponents so far. Like Florida State, like even though I'm not necessarily like thinking that the Wake Forest series sweep is a top 25 sweep anymore, but like it's still a loud statement to go into the couch and sweep.
Oh yeah.
And obviously, like to bounce back the way they did against NC State. I mean, again, NC State is the most frustrating team in college baseball, in my opinion, because they're capable of so much, and they just like, again, I mean, this weekend's the losses are not necessarily inexcusable. They just played
right.
But again, you look at the Princeton loss, you look at some of the losses that they've had this year, and you're like, how?
Did you guys see apparently the umpiring was terrible for both sides. Avent got ejected.
That video of both Link and Elliott at the same time ripping the umpire, and Elliott gets tossed. It's like I'm sorry. That I don't know how that works for suspension purposes. I don't know if Elliott Avent's suspended for a game or was suspended for a game, but if there is a suspension aspect to this, HC folks that might be watching this, can we please look into if both sides think the umpire is effing up, maybe it's an umpire problem and not a coach's problem. Guys, we got to go back. Oh, running back.
Yeah, we got to go back. Sorry, no, I'm just kidding. You can rewatch. There's plenty of time there, but yeah. Mike, I love that. That was so funny. And then somebody was like, I kept waiting for him to do the spin move.
That was me.
Oh, that was you?
That was Mike. I was like, was anyone else waiting, anticipating a spin move by Elliott Avent?
Imagine being I don't like to critique umpires because being an umpire is hard. But it's hard. Come on.
No.
But regardless, I mean, at some point, like if you're getting it from both sides, maybe take a little self-check and maybe realize, like, hey, like, I'm not on my, like, our pitchers, our hitters aren't always on their best game. Umpires have the same problem. They're not always on their best game. Maybe just take a look in the mirror and be like, maybe I'm not playing my best, or maybe I'm not calling my best tonight.
All right, I need to hear from Nick about his NC State Wolfpack. What are you thinking about the Wolfpack? It feels a little similar to last year. I hate to say it just, it feels like a good team, but not a great team, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I think the pitching the starters are better. I think Duden is a certified starter now. That's a problem.
You're saying he's a dude?
Yeah. Of course he's a dude, Monty.
He's the dude.
The dude. I think this team is better than last year. And I think going into this series, you and I both said, like, if State gets one here, I think they'll be fine. It's tough to go down to Florida State. Miles Bailey's on a tear right now. Anytime State was holding on to a lead, Miles Bailey just buried that. Was really impressed with Marone. Even when Bailey hit a home run to take the lead, Marone, that didn't faze him. He let the bats get back to work. It gave Marone the lead. There is a question of a Game 3 starter. I think a lot of State fans do not want to see Heath Andrews anymore. I think he's been okay.
And Consiglio didn't do that great out of the bullpen in that game either.
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't great out of the bullpen either. You're right. I think State will be okay. They just need to, clutch down the bullpen a little bit. And I think they win this series. I mean, that 11-5 in Game 2, I mean, just really blew up in their face towards the end of the game in the late innings. I mean, the same thing happened to them last Saturday against Boston College, where they're down 1, or I think they were up 1 at that time, and it just blew up in their face in the 8th inning. The bats need to get going a little bit, but I think overall they should be fine. I had them losing this. Florida State, I think, is just, this was the week where I put them number 1 in my power rankings.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be interesting to see that NC State pitching staff in Atlanta this weekend, I believe. Mm-hmm. They're going to be trying not to walk Georgia Tech. So.
All right, Monty. God forbid I just happened to notice something. Jeez, keep bringing it up.
No. I think it was a good point because you mentioned against good pitching, and I think we would agree NC State's good pitching, right? At least for Marone and Duden, for sure. So it's going to be interesting to see that matchup there and take a close look at that. People take a close look. So I just and bringing it up with Virginia, I just think Virginia and Georgia Tech have a similar offensive profile in terms of the grind.
Monty. I'm gonna deep dive that. I'm gonna go dig through that.
Yeah,
I think that's a very
yeah. And Virginia's got to be really. I didn't mention this. Virginia's got to be really good defensively because they're headed to BC Birdball Land in Brighton this weekend. So they've got to make sure they're clean. Otherwise, magical errors will happen, and BC will capitalize somehow. But that's going to do it. This is a really long show, but we had a lot to talk about. It was a lot of fun. As always, do you guys have any final thoughts before we let the audience go?
Favorite things of the week? Anybody?
Yeah, sure. Nick, you seem like you're prepared.
I have 2. So if anyone had one, go ahead. I don't want to steal somebody's.
Well, share your first one.
All right, my first one, loved seeing Link and JT exchange the lineups in Game 3 on Saturday or on Sunday. Link told a really cool story about watching JT in the state playoffs or state championship game in the post-game press conference. So really liked seeing that. That was pretty cool.
I interviewed JT in the winter, and the genes are strong.
I'm sure.
It was definitely Link Jarrett's son. Micah, do you have something?
I mean, mine's not completely full ACC focus, but it was
shocker.
I know. But no, it was cool yesterday as someone that grew up being a Virginia fan to be on the field when Tim Corbin and Brian O'Connor exchanged the lineups, because it just I literally for a minute there felt like I was watching the 2014 and 2015 national titles again, and it was a kind of a full circle moment for me. It was painful knowing that Oak's not in Charlottesville anymore, but it was nice just to like have that feeling of like the glory days of Virginia baseball. So, anyways, that was
the glory days were 2 years ago.
You're in the glory days.
By the way, why'd you have to mention 2014?
because that was still a special season, Monty.
It was UVA's best ever team, and
they have
lost.
a shirt for it.
I mean, literally, they won the national title. What are you talking about?
That was perfect timing. They
won the national title. What are we talking about?
No, I do love the irony that Vanderbilt's best ever team was probably the 2015 team, and UVA's was the 2014 team, and they both lost to each other. That's
I was
pretty
really bummed. I'm not gonna lie that Vanderbilt did not win yesterday because I wanted to talk to Corbin. And that was going to be an off the camera question. Like, just out of curiosity, like, as a Virginia fan growing up, like, did you feel like the 24, like, you swapped roles? Like, basically, like, the 2014, like, team should have won the title. And then, like, maybe the 2014 team for Virginia should have won the title, like, 2015. Like, did you feel like your team in 2014, basically, was your team in 2014 better or 2015 better? But,
yeah. And it's funny because it's similar guys, but they were definitely like a 2 or 3 seed or something too.
It was fun too. Nick is gonna maybe trigger you a little bit, but I was talking to some of the big time Mississippi State beat writers, and we were talking about the 2021 College World Series too, because obviously like the whole State, Vanderbilt, NC State tie-in, just like kind of what they were talking about, like Mississippi State. Like basically we were debating who would have been a better opponent for Mississippi State in that title. Was it Vandy? Was it NC State? Like it was just a fun conversation. Kind of threw some flash.
I'm triggered. I'm also triggered. Why would you do that?
Yeah, you guys were so triggered. You didn't get in your car and drive all the way to Omaha to find out a game was canceled, Monty.
UVA wasn't canceled.
No, but I drove to watch NC State too. I lived in Omaha.
Who cares? Oh, so you were basically there, so it wasn't really that big a drive.
3 hour drive, Monty.
You just made it sound like you drove across the country and it was canceled.
3 hours.
What did they say? Did they say that State would have been a better matchup?
Yes.
As in, wait, like it would have been tougher.
No.
Dang it.
So the whole logic behind it was because of what ended up happening. Because, like, wait,
you're telling me that Sam Highfill and Matt Willardson don't match up to Kumar Rocker and Jack Leiter?
Like it, and because of what happened, Vanderbilt had a even more fresh Kumar Rocker because they didn't have to throw him as long because in his outing against NC State, like they kind of saw what NC State was trotting out there with literal position players playing positions they'd never played before. Like it was funny though because he brought up a good point. He said the reason why Mississippi, not the reason, but like the baseball gods punished Vanderbilt that year in that championship. Because Kumar Rocker, I can't remember who it was for NC State. Maybe you remember the walk-on kid that had 2 plate appearances his entire career. But he had like a 12-pitch AB with Kumar Rocker early in the game, and then Kumar Rocker after he struck him out straight flexed on the kid, and he said that he turned to Kendall Rogers and was like, "Yeah, they're gonna the baseball gods are gonna punish him for that." And sure enough,
I remember that at bat. I don't remember who was up there. But that I remember that at bat.
Because he's it's a big strikeout, but you just flexed on a walk-on with 2 ABs in the College World Series.
I already shared mine. JD Stein, sweet baby angel, protect him at all costs. Wake Forest.
Shocker, you would have loved a moment that required Virginia to lose. Typical Monty, fake Virginian fan. I'm kidding.
Says the guy that loses his mind every time anything goes wrong. I was very surprised that you picked against Wake Forest, but then I remembered it was, you hate Wake Forest. So,
and you didn't even get a text from me about Saturday. You should be proud of me. I am. Like, Monty, what's happening? But I was like,
well, and it's hard to tell because Micah sometimes is playing into that, but sometimes he's also serious. So it's hard to tell what times are which. But Nick, what was your second one before we, finally let people go?
Last year, I really sucked at picking X Factor pitchers, and last year I did pick Jack Riddell, and I think that was his worst start of his career. And this week I picked him, and it probably his best start of his career. So it was really cool to see that.
He had 6 perfect innings this year. It was not his best start of his career. All right.
Well, I said 1, but I mean a complete game shutout is pretty nice, wouldn't you say, Monty?
Yeah. Also, you picking Jack Riddell isn't that crazy? Everyone else has already picked Jack Riddell.
I'm having a full circle moment, is what I'm saying.
Anyway, we've done pretty well picking X Factors. But anyway, that's going to do it for us. We'll be back, I think, Wednesday for a preview of, I think everyone's back in ACC play, so we should have 8 matchups to talk about. It's going to be a fun one as the conference play continues to ramp the F up. But until then, it just means less.